Hi, this is Chad. In this episode, I'm going to discuss how to find the greatest common factor, or simply the GCF. So, what is GCF, by the way? GCF is used almost all the time involving fractions. In order to simplify a fraction or ratio, you can always use the GCF of both numerator and denominator and get the required reduced form. GCF can also be used in simplifying equations. The GCF of two or more numbers is the greatest number among all the common factors of the given numbers. The GCF of two or more numbers is the largest possible number that divides all of that numbers. In other words, a factor can also be used or can be called a divisor. So to calculate a GCF, there are three methods, but in this episode, I'll be discussing only the first method, the listing method. For example, if your teacher wants you to simplify these fractions, 16 over 28 and 20 over 45. So in order to simplify these fractions, so we need to find the GCF. So first, let's simplify this fraction by using the listing method. So what are the factors of 16 and 28? So the factors of 16 are 1, because 16 divided by 1 is simply 16. Then 16 is an even number, so it means that 16 can be divided by 2. And 16 can also be divided by 4, right? 16 divided by 2 is simply 8. And lastly, 16 can be divided by 16 because 16 divided by 16 is 1. Okay, let's proceed to 28. 28 can also be divided by 1, and 28 is also an even number, so it can be divided by 2, right? And 28 can be divided by 4 as well. And 28 divided by 4 is simply 7. And 28 divided by 2 is 14. And lastly, 28 can also be divided by 28. So notice that these numbers here, 1, 2, and 4, are the common factors of 16 and 28, right? But the greatest common factor of 16 and 28 is this number 4, right? So in order to simplify this fraction, 16 over 28, we'll use this GCF 4 as the divisor, okay? So 16 divided or 16 over 28 can be divided by 4 over 4, okay? 16 divided by 4 is simply 4, and 28 divided by 4 is simply 7. And this is now the reduced form of 16 over 28. Okay, let's simplify this fraction 20 over 45. And let's find out its common factor, the common factors of 20 and 45. 20, 45, okay? So 20 can be divided by 1, and this is an even number too, so this can be divided by 2. And 20 can be divided by 4. 20 divided by 4 is simply 5. And 20 can be divided by 10 because 20 divided by 2 is 10. And lastly, 20 can be divided by 20. Alright, so these are the factors of 20. So how about 45? So this is an odd number, but 45 can be divided by 1. And 45 cannot be divided by 2 because it's an odd number. So can be divided by 3, right? 45 can be divided by 5 also. 45 divided by 5 is simply 9, so 9 is a factor of 45. And 45 divided by 3 is simply 15. And 45 can be divided by 45. So these numbers here are the factors of 45. So the common factor or the common factors of 20 and 45 are 1 and 5. And the greatest common factor of 20 and 45 is simply this number, 5. So it means that in order to simplify this fraction 20 over 45, let's divide this fraction by 5 over 5. Okay? 5 over 5. So 20 divided by 5 is simply 4. And 45 divided by 5 is simply 9. And this is the simplest form or the reduced form of 20 over 45 fraction. Thank you very much and hoping to see you next time.